I'm so happy I finished my capstone, and it just feels like a big weight off my shoulders.
You just have to share your screen on Teams.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get everything else connected up.
Okay, thanks.
Trying to make it easy.
Now, do I put my mic on?
No, the panel is picking you up mic-wise, so you're all good.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is my capstone project, creation and analysis of new trading strategies. And my supervisor was Saskia, so thank you. Appreciate it, very helpful. And yeah, my name is Ben, by the way. So my background and motivation, I'm thrilled to share the results of my completed project in algorithmic trading, focused on making more money from trading the markets, and in algorithmic trading. In algorithmic trading strategies often rely on combining technical indicators to enhance decision making. For this project, I honed in on dynamic support and resistance zones, specifically using trailing highs and lows as critical market levels. While these zones are well regarded, there wasn't much out there on how they pair with price action confirmations as trade signals. So that's the gap this project kind of went and tackled. I built a framework to test a strategy that used price action confirmations near trailing highs and lows, analyzing how it performed across various markets and time frames. The final script I tested zeroed in on these signals, and the results were kind of exciting. There was a variety, but when you focus on the better results, I think there's actually opportunity here to create something that's automated and making money, which is kind of the goal behind this. And potentially there's some future scope, which I'll get into in a little bit. So yeah, if that was too long a spiel, basically this project is about making money and using computers to do it. Objectives and methodologies. So what's this presentation about? Yeah, I guess basically I'm trying to use computers to make money, and that is by combining markets and the current trading knowledge that I've already developed, because I've been learning to trade the foreign exchange market for the last year and a half, and also my background in computer science, which is programming. And I honestly feel a little bit stupid that I haven't been combining my knowledge of programming with the markets to try and make money, because when I started doing this and put some effort into PineScript, which is the language where you can program this type of stuff, it felt like very natural in terms of like next steps in terms of creating a profitable business, or anything of the like with future scope and making money. So just a bit more introduction, because I know you guys are not financial experts. This is a class of computer scientists, so I'm just going to break down a little bit about maybe some of the necessities that are needed to understand a bit about what my project is about. So this is a symbol. This is the Aussie dollar versus the US dollar. So it's a currency pair, and you can basically bet on it going up. So if the Aussie dollar goes up relative to the US dollar, then you make money if you bet on it going up. And if you bet on it going down, then you make money as well. So you can make money either way. These are candlesticks. Normally, when you see charts, they look kind of like lines, and those are each point on the line is a close of a time frame. So it depends on which time frame you're kind of looking at. But what has more data and what's more relevant for when you're analyzing like charts and stuff is looking at candlestick charts. So here I've just shown here that this is a green candlestick, and this is a red candlestick. This basically means the market went down. This one means it went up. And each candlestick, it depends on the chart you're looking at. Let's say this is a 5-minute chart, then this would represent 5 minutes. And this has more data than just a line chart, because there's wicks here. And this shows basically the top wick is how high did the market go during that 5-minute time period if we're looking at a 5-minute chart, and how low did it go. So that's this wick on if in that time period. So that's what that look is. And because this is green, it closed higher than it opened in that time period. So basically, it went up during that time. This is important based on how I was programming my trading project. Basically, this is just one example of the candlestick confirmation signal. So the market in this situation went down, then it went back up, and it closed above its open. So basically, went down and up. And normally, this doesn't really mean much because if you just look at a chart, it doesn't really matter. But what does matter is when this happens at like support and resistance zones or like specific areas on the chart. If this occurs and there's a reaction, there's people in the market paying attention to this area, that's a likely signal that they might be driving up. And all we need is a small probability, like just a small percent to make money in the markets. So that was kind of the focus and the objective here behind and the like idea behind the strategy that I made. So as I mentioned, combining candlesticks, so support and combining candlesticks with support and resistance is kind of where the money is a little bit, or like in my opinion, from my experience. So this is just here. This slide actually kind of demonstrates. This is a bit of a support and resistance slide. Kind of demonstrates what resistance and support looks like. So basically, people are paying attention to certain levels on the market, and so this is like kind of price going up, and then it hits this level, and then it's resisting. That's the name resistance, and then it goes back down. This is holding as support, and that's these are kind of the areas where the algorithm was supposed to look if there's a price action reaction here at this support level, then ideally, hopefully, we make some money or lose some based on the risk to reward. This is here is I marked a hand-drawn support and resistance line. And this is just an example of a chart. And these are the candlesticks I was talking about. These are all flat, but it goes up and down depending. Like if it closes below, so it goes down, goes down. I'm getting to the relevant stuff. Okay. So here I want to talk a bit about round numbers, just to demonstrate like one of the things that I can automate. So round numbers are like 1.23, 1.24, 1.2500. All these numbers are like usually have a bit more significance because we're human and we try and simplify information. And the people that are looking and trading these markets and moving the money around are also looking at these levels and have these kind of biases. So one of the things that I put in this in the program, or that I was going to put in the final program, was going to be these round numbers. Another one, which was a bit more complicated, is there's a formula for calculating pivot points, and basically that's what these lines look like. So it's kind of really tiny, but if you plot pivot points for like a weekly chart, this is kind of what it looks like on Euro USD. And as you can see, I just put it on there, and it's not really respecting this line, but in some cases it does. And like I said, you only need like a small percentage to win. This was how I was going to implement. This is what I was going to do when I was planning my strategy. Basically, once it gets into this, so once price is going down into this support zone, then there's a few conditions that I was going to look for that I'm programming in my script, and then that would be considered like either a valid signal or like an invalid signal. In this case, price was in this zone too long, and so we discount this as not a signal. And this was kind of the theory behind it. And I'll explain a bit in a little bit that this didn't actually work out too well. But yeah, that's basically it for that one. Yeah, no trigger, no trade. So since the conditions weren't met, that even though it went down at the level, it wasn't an enter to trade. This is another example. This was only in the zone here. It's before this blue line is before this black line. So price is going down into the support zone, and then it went up within a certain time frame. Within that certain time X allocator that would be programmed into the market. And if it goes up then the condition is valid, and or at least for the support line. Then the other condition would be the price action, which I'll get to right now. So these were the proposed price action conditions. These were things that I was brainstorming and that I was looking to implement, which changed a little bit. Candle reaction within X duration. So basically, if there's a candlestick reaction within like 10 minutes at this level, then there would be a valid price action reaction here. Or if there was a moving average crossover, which is another indicator, kind of, and a Bollinger Band. If price exceed one standard deviation above a Bollinger Band moving average, basically, then it would be another signal. I know this is kind of a lot to get into, but this is kind of, yeah. So that was another idea that didn't actually get implemented. And also the same is if there's no trigger, there's no trade. So same for price action signals. The implementation. So how did I do it? Did I do it? Yeah, so it kind of changed a little bit. So I was looking for support and resistance zones. But what I realized when I was combining price action and support and resistance was that these conditions didn't actually trigger like enough times for there to be like a higher quantity of trades that I could get data for when I was testing it. And so I went with a different approach that went on like it had a loop back period for like highs and lows, and then it would look for a candlestick reaction. And that's kind of what I ended up doing. But I'd still like to look for more dynamic and support and resistance because I think that's a bit more solid with like the price action. And here is just, I made a framework here of testing the strategy, like the different, so what I made was a framework, right? So there's multiple strategies, and this is the data analysis of like the strategy that I ended up finally implementing, or at least this variation of it. And I have a strategy statistics, pop factor, and then a list of trades here. Yeah, so I'm just going through, yeah, like either this is like a trade that it's a set of rules, right? And so it went long there, went short here, so reacted at the resistance. So, anyways, yeah, I mean, this is kind of like I made this to show this, but I feel like the real work was really in like the programming and the algorithm stuff. And 1.65. So 1.65. The best result that I had was with 117 trades on Aussie dollar, US dollar, and I had a profit factor of 1.65. And what a profit factor means is basically is if you put $1 in, then you basically make 65% on it. So it was a good strategy. All you really need to break even is one. So 1.65 was actually a really good number to get a result for the best results that I got. The lowest results that I had observed over, I think around like testing on 6 different currency pairs and timeframes was around 1. So that's kind of like break even. So I think there is like a profitable factor in here. Anyways, yeah, for the conclusion here, I felt like maybe if I had a bit more time, I could have implemented my strategies better and implemented. I talked about pivot points, how I wanted to implement that, and I think that could have been implemented, and dynamic support and resistance and different price action confirmations at those levels. There could have been this like infinite many things that I could have done, but I would have really liked to have finished what I did set out to. And I did create a strategy, and it kind of changed as I went through it. So yeah. And then I guess let's see, final idea. Final idea. Yep. Okay, so the Fisher scope is basically if I have a strategy that's making money and it's using computers, then I can get investors and I can multiply money for other people, for you guys, maybe. No, I probably not. You don't want to do that. But yeah, or I could start like a business or something. And well, we would see how that goes. I don't think I'm quite there yet, but I thought it was really cool, and it was a really good opportunity to do some research on something that I'm interested in. So, um, yeah, thank you so much. And is there any questions? Yes.
Thank you so much for the presentation. So you were saying that you use PineScript and that this is the popularly used language for the financial trading.
Yes.
Why do you think Python is not used? Or like,
Python,
is it used?
well, Python is used, but I think PineScript is more. It's made for traders. PineScript, you like has trading language like highs and lows. I showed candlesticks. That's basically programmed into the language, and it's a much easier way of programming rules into a programming language. So I think PineScript definitely can be used, or sorry, Python definitely can be used, but PineScript is just far superior in terms of if you're trying to program trading scripts. So yeah.
Is there speed difference as well? Is PineScript faster than Python?
I think probably not in terms of like speed difference. And like I guess execution wise, maybe if you're programming something that's like has to be really, really high speed, um, that would that would be like a factor that you'd consider. But you can have strategies that execute a trade like once every like 8 hours or like even multiple days, and then a time if it's like 2 milliseconds off, it doesn't matter if it's Python or PineScript, and it's also just kind of built into like the main way you look at charts and stuff. So I think that's kind of why like PineScript's like better in that way. But Python is used by other analysts. So.
Okay.
Mhm. Testing, pretty instantly. When you program like the set of rules, it just looks back on the data, sees if basically any of the conditions that you have for entry and exit, like conditions are met, and then it will just put it in and create the graph for you. You just have to create the rules and know what you're doing. Or just experiment and not have any good results. Mhm.
I just wanted to ask, the 1.65 return that you had,
Yeah.
how long was that on, like, what was that period? Like a day of it, or?
No, I'll show you. Actually, that's this graph right here. It's the profit factor up range is 1.65. And this was like 15-minute time frame that the strategy was run on. 117 trades. That's probably the most that's the most skeptical thing. You probably want like a lot more trades to happen to know for sure that this number is like really good, because sometimes strategies like don't do so well over like a bigger amount of data. But probably I'm guessing 170 trades, like 15 minutes. This is probably a couple weeks of data.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Ms. Cameron?
Okay, I just finished my capstone project and I think I passed. I think I passed it. I hope so. Presentation wasn't so bad. I haven't got my grade back yet, and I haven't finished actually the capstone. I still have to write the report, finish that up, and it's somewhat done, but I think I kind of know what to add now, especially for like future scope and stuff. I think I should get a gift for my supervisor, who helped me out a bit, and because I think it's a tactical move. And yeah, it just feels like a weight off my shoulder. I'm really excited to make money this summer, and I'm just like one step closer to that. And the planning stages, I need to look into more apartments because the ones that I reached out to yesterday haven't gotten back to me. So I'll have to double check that and see if there's any like new listings and potentially apply for new ones. yeah, then I'm just gonna edit this video up, and yeah, I'm really excited for this summer. I'm really gonna lock in wherever I live. I'm gonna lock in and get a bunch of work done. I'm really kind of aiming for that $500 per day mark. But I only need 250, so we'll see where I get. See where I get with that, and I'm expecting to knock on at least 150 doors a day. Probably more, honestly. And I'll have to be really good about tracking it and create like a log, and get metrics and stuff. Probably I'll find some way to do it with Sales Rabbit. Anyways, I guess I feel like maybe I haven't been like letting people in. I feel like maybe when I kind of use this higher pitched voice, I'm just creating some distance between like what I give to other people and who I am, and that is a bit of a separation. I'm just trying to get back and trying to get to my business, and yeah, we'll see. I think just doing this solo, at least for the start, is probably a good decision. I don't know how many leads I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna knock on the doors, so now I don't have to knock on twice as many. I think that's good, but I'm still gonna knock. Focus on the presentation skills. Like, I sense this higher pitched voice in my voice right now, and I think when I talk to other people, it's kind of showing like disingenuousness, and I don't really know where that's coming from. I'm trying to figure that out. I think it's kind of a separation between what I want people to see and who I believe I am. And then it comes out as this higher pitched voice, this sensitive to other people's situation, but don't want to let them in kind of voice, and just a lack of real caring. So maybe it's just a BS, like maybe it's just a BS front, because I'm scared of people's reaction, but I'm gonna do my own thing anyways, so maybe I should just live it up front. I don't know why I have this fear, so maybe it's just holding me back. I think I just figured it out, or like figured something out. I won't put up this front. And I'm not gonna put up with bullshit. And I'm gonna be who I am, and I'm gonna let the people I care about in, and I'm gonna see who gives me energy, and I'm just gonna work on myself. Yeah.